got a little bit something a little bit more cheerful than the last couple stories. Washington D.C., although they have yet again failed to allow the opening of adult use shops, their city council just approved a tax holiday on 420, our high holiday coming up in a couple weeks here. So leaders in Washington, D.C. have approved legislation to suspend taxes on medical marijuana around the 420 celebration, declaring a tax holiday on purchases from April 15th through April 28th. The district council approved the tax holiday unanimously on a voice vote on Tuesday, also taking action on a number of other cannabis-related proposals, such as a proposed dispensary buffer zone around schools in commercial and industrial zones. The popular tax holiday is critical to the district's effort to attract qualifying patients back to the legal market, as well as sustainable and viable medical cannabis programs, said council member Kenyon McDuffie, an independent, who introduced the measure on behalf of Mayor Muriel Bowser, who's a Democrat. The legislation also extends the period of validity for medical marijuana patient and caregiver registration cards to 6 years and clarifies the Alcoholic Beverage and Cannabis Administration, or ABCA, authority to close down unlicensed and unregulated retailers. The change authorizes ABCA to summarily close an unlicensed retailer where the continued operations of the unlicensed retailer presents an imminent danger to the health, safety, or welfare of the public, according to a letter from to the council from Mayor Bowser. An amendment also adopted unanimously by the council adjusted language in an effort to ensure the ABCA has the ability to investigate licensed medical marijuana businesses. Prior medical holiday was included in the 2020 bill designed to help address rising cannabis costs at licensed dispensaries and combat the continued threat posed by illicit cannabis storefronts and delivery services. Members of the panel said roughly 200 unlicensed dispensaries currently exist in the district, and about 70 of those have applied to transition into the regulated market. That's most of it. The article talks a little bit more about some of the other proposals that were included and voted on. But yeah, thanks again to Ben Adlin from Marijuana Moment for covering this. I think it's great that they have created a tax holiday around 420. I think it's funny that they've openly stated that their whole goal is to combat the illicit market, but their answer to that is a temporary 5-day tax holiday and not, permanently addressing that problem. But let's hear what the rest of the correspondents have to say. This is Soham with High at 9 News out of Austin, Texas.
Man, this makes me just say I wish 420 was every day, Soham. I don't believe that they should be taxing medical cannabis at all for any reason whatsoever at all, and that goes for every state, not just the District of Columbia, but that's for everybody when it comes to medical purchases.
I agree on that.
Yeah, we'll see.
I'm curious to see if this is going to increase their market, because if it does, it should be a bell going off inside these idiots' heads. Well, we tax and regulate the shit out of this, and maybe you want to compete with the black market, you stop doing that.
You know how to tell, Dale. You know how to tell. You just watch Maryland's numbers on 420 and see if they go up or down.
I think one good thing that was pointed out in this article too, that's not necessarily related to the tax holiday itself, but the fact they stated they have 200 unlicensed stores with 70 of them that are trying to transition into the regulated market. So I will say shout out to the District of Columbia for doing what they can to help legacy operators transition into the regulated market and not just shutting them down and barring them from ever participating.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a great point actually that you make, so because that's, I think, a totally different mentality than just shut you down and have a law enforcement situation happen, rather than, hey, look, you're in this market already, let's get you into the legal market so that we can get the tax revenue to be able to improve schools and roads in the community.
And address public safety, get your products tested and such.
Exactly.
I hope those regulators in the great state of New York are taking notes on at least that aspect of the program, because they should try that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no.
You're giving them too much credit, so
I agree.
They're dumb as a box of rocks.
I said I hope, not that I think.
I mean, I have another question, like a logistical question, because in D.C. you can self-certify. So, I mean, can't you just walk up and just acknowledge yourself as a patient and then therefore be able to get this tax break?
I think you still have to register as a patient because they said they also passed a measure to extend those registration cards for 6 years. So you might be able to self-certify, but you still have to file, I think, some type of registration and get an actual medical or a caregiver card.
Interesting.
Then you lose your gun rights.
Oh no!
Yep.
So
not
go ahead,
after,
sign up.
Not after my story. You're not going to lose your gun rights.
I mean, there's probably not as many places that you can legally carry in DC anyway.
I mean, it all depends on how you carry Soham.
But you can steal as many cars as you want.
Yeah,
it's not New Jersey.
In DC, they don't chase you down if you steal a car.
Well,
no carjacking on
they
your
used
car.
to have duels. They used to have duels right out on the mall out there and shoot at each other and shit.
I mean, if you've ever driven in DC, I mean, DC is a crazy place to drive. Just with the layout of it is just
the
insane.
traffic.
Yeah,
I'm not talking about the hood. I'm talking about lawmakers. Didn't Aaron Burr and Hamilton shoot at each other right in front of the
Aaron Burr murdered Hamilton.
Oh boy.
Yep.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
Anti-cannabis lawmakers out of Maryland do try to show up to Congress with a gun in his pocket too.